Why is it that everyone exposed by General Nhlanla Mkhwanazi comes to the Madlanga Commission only to try and drag his name through the mud? Today, Brian Padayachee, the IDAC payboy and mouthpiece for Fadiel Adams, spewed absolute garbage. He actually claimed that General Mkunazi is unfit for his job. Can you believe that? This is the exact same investigator that Fadiel Adams has been using to fight his personal enemies. But here is the best part. Right after Padayachee made that ridiculous statement about Mkhwanazi's fitness for office, Justice Madlanga completely dismantled him. Under pressure, he finally confessed to how they were secretly hired by Fadiel Adams to target his rivals, including General Mkunazi. Dear viewers, welcome to today's podcast. Please hit that like button, share this video with everyone you know, and let's expose this corruption together. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. If you believe General Mkunazi is innocent of these baseless allegations, type Viva Mkhwanazi in the comments section below. Jabulani, roll the clip.
NPA Act and actively involved in what is known as state capture investigations. I attended several workshops on financial investigations, money laundering, tender fraud, FATF, cybercrime held by the NPA, IDAC, and Association of Accredited Fraud Examiners. The ID, as a result of the NPA Amendment Act, became the Investigative Directorate Against Corruption, a permanent unit within the NPA. I was appointed to a position referred to above by the President Cyril Matamela Ramaphosa on the 1st March 2022. The appointment was made in terms of Section 13(1)(b) of the National Prosecuting Authority Act. In February 2025, I was appointed permanently in the IDAC as a senior criminal investigator. I deposed to this affidavit in response to a notice issued in terms of Rule 3 of the Rules of the Judicial Commission of Inquiry into Criminality, Political Interference and Corruption in the Criminal Justice System, arising from the allegations made public by Lieutenant General Mkunazi, the Provincial Commissioner of KwaZulu-Natal, on the 6th of July 2025. The notice requires me to deal with the following issues on which Lieutenant General Mkunazi testified. First, I was appointed to a senior position within IDAC despite lacking the required skills, experience, and qualifications. I have used my role to influence and control investigative outcomes, court proceedings, in particular the criminal charges against Lieutenant General Khumalo and his co-accused as related to the employment of Brigadier Mokwele. I deal with the issues identified above later in this affidavit. Before I do so, there are various issues I need first to deal with if my answers to the issues identified above are to be sensible. Thus, I have structured this affidavit as follows. First, I deal with the allegation that I was appointed to a senior position within IDAC despite lacking the requisite skills, experience, and qualifications. Second, I use my role to influence and control investigative outcomes, court proceedings, in particular the criminal charges against Lieutenant General Khumalo and his co-accused. Third, I conclude. The appointment, skills, experience, and qualifications. I have already pointed out when I was appointed to IDAC and how long I had previously been involved with investigations at the time. In what follows below, I intend to expand on these aspects. Insofar as Lieutenant General Mkunazi suggested that I'm not qualified for my job, I've attached Annexure Mark BP1, a copy of my certificate for a detective course that I successfully attended in 1998. For the sake of completeness, I have also attached Annexure BP2, a copy of the allocations of points awarded to me during the detective course. It is worth mentioning that I was awarded the honor of being the top student in my class upon the conclusion of the detective course. I have extensive management experience and operational experience spanning over a period of 44 years. The statement says 43. At the time it was made, it's 43. It's now 44 years of my law enforcement career. During this period, I completed various investigative courses and attended various investigative workshops on investigations. I have completed 2 investigative courses hosted by the United States of America and France. These courses enhance my operational, investigative, and management skills. The courses and workshops I attended to also included fraud, money laundering, financial investigations, a project approach to specialized investigations, crime intelligence, undercover investigative techniques, counterterrorism, and financial investigations. I have attached true copies of these certificates marked Annexures BP3 to BP10. Commissioner, I have a diploma in police administration. It was awarded to me in 1992. I have attached a true copy of my certificate in this regard. It is marked BP11. It remains to indicate that it is graded NQF level 6. I also have a national certificate in police administration awarded in 1985 and a national higher certificate policing awarded in 1999. It is marked BP12 and BP13. Now I'm at this point. I'll also make available and attach the advert in response to which I was appointed. It is marked BP14. Thus, I put it up front that the allegations that I was appointed to a senior position within IDAC in the circumstances where I do not have the requisite skills, experience, and qualifications is void, empty, and bereft of a factual foundation. It is baseless. Before my appointment, I have been involved in many successful criminal investigations. It is appropriate for me to mention a few. At the time of my appointment, I investigated and/or had previously been involved the Inchanga massacre in the year 2000, so involved that I received a commendation from the Provincial Commissioner of KwaZulu-Natal. See annexure marked BP15. The Plesisla Project Task Team. During the violence in the Eatondale-Plesisla area in KwaZulu-Natal, there were many people accused in the cases that I am the lead investigator will therefore be ventilated appropriately by the courts seized with hearing these matters. I was surprised when General Mkunazi mentioned my name in his press briefing, and again during his testimony during the commission. This is because I had prior telephonic contact with him long before his press briefing. In actual fact, Commissioner, just to pause there, when General Mkunazi stood on that podium at the press briefing and he spoke about corruption, I was applauding him. He is one of, in the 44 years that I've been in the service and in law enforcement, he is one of the best that addresses corruption and crime directly. So I applauded him. Not only had I had contact with him prior to his press briefing, just to recap, sir, I had prior telephonic contact with him long before his press briefings. Not only had I had contact with him prior to his press meetings, I had the occasion to interview him. He also provided me with an affidavit in support of one of the IDAC investigations related to crime intelligence investigations. I cannot disclose the details of General Mkunazi's affidavit, nor provide same to the Commission, as the matter is still under investigation. To substantiate my contact and communication held with Lieutenant General Mkunazi, I attach here 2 screenshots of the messages and phone calls held with General Mkunazi prior to and after he provided me with the affidavit. They are marked BP19 and BP25.
Colonel, I've gone through all 7 texts. They appear to be neutral in content. You say you are traveling to Durban and that you would like to meet, and a few of the chats then mention where you are and you inquire where his office is. It's that kind of conversation, and he of course is responding.
Yes.
Also in that neutral manner.
Yes.
What I'm interested in,
BP25.
Colonel, I've gone through all 7 texts. They appear to be neutral in content. You say you are traveling to Durban and that you would like to meet, and a few of the chats then mention where you are and you inquire where his office is. It's that kind of conversation, and he of course is responding.
Yes.
Also in that neutral manner.
Yes.
What I'm interested in is what you are seeking to establish by providing us with these texts.
Thank you, Chair. the WhatsApp messages
Yes.
and the interactions shows the type of communication we had. The reason being is that we had communication, we have an understanding, we have a working relationship, we know each other. The communications don't come across as, like how it is now, if I can say. These were approachable conversations. During these conversations, he told me where he was. I met him. He was outside the provincial commissioner's office. He had his short pants next to his white bucky, hands in the pocket. I had my hands in my pocket too, although he was a general, and we were chatting. We thereafter proceeded to his office where we had a conversation with regards to what I required of him. From there, at the later stage, we met again, this time at his house, where we had the same conversation. And I had his affidavit. I ran him through the affidavit of the first conversation when we first met, what it's all about. The affidavit was prepared. We discussed the affidavit. The affidavit concerns a major general who's one of the suspects in my cases, and what was outlined in his affidavit. He looked at the affidavit. He confirmed the affidavit. He signed the affidavit. What's more, when you look at the WhatsApp messages, you can see the greetings. You can see the friendliness in the greetings. You know, a blessed Easter. Hi, Brian, first name. Blessed Easter to you and your family. It's not ordinarily how a senior ranking officer will address a subordinate. It'll be official, whatever. But you can see the way we are interacting and relating to each other. During the time at his house in Mhlanga, in his home, we had a cordial chat about corruption and everything that's going. And I was always in praise of him because we had met on numerous occasions before. And in that particular meeting, Commissioner, he was aware, because I told him General Khumalo is going to be arrested. He was aware also that other generals were going to be arrested too as well. And his response to me, well, they must face their own situations. He was comfortable. There was nothing abnormal. He was not angry. And we sat in the lounge for quite some time. And then after he wished me well, everything, and I took my leave. So not very long after that, or a while later, the operation on the first matter commenced, which resulted in the arrest of 4 senior officers from crime intelligence. Everything was fine. There was no issues.
Are you perhaps suggesting that if there was anything the matter, you would have expected him to react differently to you?
The time that we spent in his lounge, I'm invited to his home, not to his office the second time, to his home. So the scenario itself tells you the trust in your home, where your family is. So what I'm saying, the Commissioner, he was aware, he had no problems with what we were doing. And when the second arrest, or the second takedown operation on the second matter, we have several case dockets and several matters that we were busy at that stage that we're going to follow in a sequence. So the first matter commenced, there was going to be a break, a second matter would have commenced, a break, then a third matter would have commenced. When the second matter commenced, I was not involved in the arrest of the accused, but I was at the police station. I need to mention, Commissioner.
The first matter, is that the one where you say...
I need to mention, Commissioner.
The first matter, is that the one where you say 4 generals were arrested or 4 senior subs members were arrested? Is that the first matter? The
first matter is 1 general.
Oh, yes.
And 2 senior officers and a warrant, he was a warrant officer at that time.
Yes. And then the general, was that General Khumalo?
The first one?
Yes.
No, that was the CFO, General Lushaba.
All right. And then the second matter, which one was that?
The second matter was General Khumalo, General Lekalakala, General Lushaba, General Gabela, General Matondo, Brigadier Makwela, and Brigadier Ngube. That was the second matter.
All right, thank you. Thank you. If you want to continue, you may, but you've answered me because I just wanted to understand what you are seeking to convey when you refer us to these chats.
No problem.
Thank you.
And because you've touched on it, Commissioner,
Yes,
what I
yes.
wanted to say is that...
And I'm not stopping you. If you want to continue, you may.
No problem, Commissioner.
Yes.
It's because I'm on that point that I just want... I know we're going to come back to those annexures.
Yes.
I'm just want to just put it in context that General Mkunazi was fine with the first case of General Shaba. He was fine with the second case of General Kumalo on the 27th.
Mm-hmm.
On the 28th, I was at Howick participating in a combat rifle competition, so my cell phone was on silent, it was off. During the latter part of the afternoon, this is directly after the arrest of General Kumalo,
Mm-hmm.
there were two calls that came, two missed calls, with a couple of minutes in between, missed calls. So when I got hold of my phone, I saw missed calls, and I sent him a message to say that, General, apologies, I missed your call. I will contact you back.
So
Yes.
the missed calls were from General
The missed
Mkhwanazi.
calls were from General Mkunazi.
All right.
So what happened is that I sent the message, but it only showed one tick, that he didn't read it. So I carried on with what I was doing, and obviously it's a long day and whatever, I didn't follow through with that. And the message wasn't read the Sunday and the Monday, and obviously with all the messages now, everything just pushes down, and all your later messages come out. So I didn't bother about it until the 6th of July, when I saw the press briefing and General Mkunazi giving the press briefing, and I was excited. So...
Yeah, I think yes, you are going to get there at a later stage.
I'm going to
maybe we should stop there and then you continue with, is it paragraph 24?
It would be paragraph 24, but before you get there, just a issue for clarity so that you say who decides who to charge and what the charges will be. Who does that? I think I missed that. If you don't mind.
Maybe I must just elaborate on that.
Yes.
When a complaint comes in via a Section 27 referral, that referral is taken by the intake committee, which decides whether this falls within the mandate of IDAC, whether all the legal prescripts, everything is there. That referral is then a Section 2813. If it falls within the mandate, and if it still needs more information, a preliminary investigation in terms of Section 2813 is authorized. So from that, there's a team gets designated. That team consists of investigators, criminal investigators, financial investigators, and prosecutors, meaning your state advocates. And then leading that team, you will have a deputy director of public prosecution who's responsible for that. So in terms of prosecution, the investigators do the investigation, but in terms of the prosecution, it is guided by the prosecutors. They decide on the evidence, the investigation and evidence collected, who to charge and what to charge. It's followed by another level, which is the Deputy Director of Public Prosecutions and other senior advocates who look at the evidence to support the charges and the accused.
Did you say this one was a referral? Did you say this one was a referral?
Yes.
Thank you.
A referral. This matter came under a referral in terms of Section 27 of the NPA Act. Thank you, sir.
Who referred it?
The Section 27 referral came from a Member of Parliament, Mr. Fadiel Adams.
Thank you.
Just a follow-up question. Good morning, Colonel.
Good morning, Commissioner.
Was that referral in terms of Section 27, which requires that it be on oath, on affidavit, or affirmed declaration?
As far as I know, that it's an affidavit that is submitted.
You have seen it personally?
Yes, sir, I've seen it now, and it also forms part of the bundle that was handed to council.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners. Colonel, that then leads us to paragraph 2.3 of the subpoena, which required you to address, quote, allegations concerning your role in interference in criminal investigations and prosecutions, unquote. And I think you deal with that issue together with paragraph 2.4. So I'll put what paragraph 2.4 of the subpoena stated so that you can answer them together as you do in your statement. At paragraph 2.4 of this subpoena required you to address I quote, the effect of such conduct on the functioning integrity.
I only work with the docket, council. So that referral and correspondence is there on management level, which I believe that the head of office will be able to explain more on there.
You know, you are being unfair on yourself, Colonel. You are a senior police officer. You have spent enough time in IDAC to know a bit about processes. You get a section 27. You told us that the intake committee decides whether it falls within its mandate, the complaint. That must be recorded somewhere. You told us then the investigators and chief investigators are appointed. Then a decision is made whether or not to proceed to a section 2813 investigation or to run a full-blown investigation in terms of section 81. And then you referenced the authority to proceed. I assume all these are in written form. And my question is simply, where does one find that whole pack of papers? Surely you should know that.
No, I do not want to appear that I'm holding back or anything on that, council.
Yeah.
Please understand me.
Okay.
All right. I'm the investigator in the level that I prescribed. The referral comes in, and it comes into to management. It is done. I get a copy of the designation where we designated on to investigate. So on the basis of that, I start the inquiry.
Yes.
Of obtaining statements.
Okay.
And then I compile my docket from there. I do not take the 27 and put it in a docket and start from there. I start from interviewing people to gather evidence for the criminal docket.
Okay. No, that's, I understand then.
Can I just, Ms. Ella?
Yes, ma'am.
Just related to this topic, this docket here, it says police station is Brooklyn. Can you just explain, is that how all your IDAC dockets look like? They record a station as Brooklyn?
It's a normal police docket, commissioners.
Yes.
It's a normal police docket which we get from the station and we write on it.
Okay.
And we register it, but it's a police docket.
So it's registered at Brooklyn Police
It's
Station?
It's registered at Brooklyn Police Station. IDAC does not have access to their own systems of registering dockets, so it's registered at the police station, the precinct with the offense founding.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. So what we have at page 681 is the preamble to a statement, as Commissioner Baloyi points out. It reflects Brooklyn as the station. And then it provides a cast number 542/06/investigator or the police officer who takes the statement.
No, I'm not with you there, counsel.
Now, I say, do I understand you correct that the signature that has to be appearing at 681 and 682 has to be the signature of the person taking the statement?
Yes.
Not the person giving the statement.
Yes, the
Okay.
person taking the statement.
We just have it the other way around here.
Page 2 should be the person that's the actual Adams.
Page 2 has to be the signature of Mr. Adams. The 681 is the signature of the investigator. Who's responsible for this form, for completion of this form, is this the complainant or the person taking the statement? I would have assumed that.
The person that's taking the statement.
Yeah. So their signature, I thought, would appear at both 681 and 682.
Yeah.
And that the complainant signature would only appear in their statement. Am I correct or am I wrong again?
Just come again, the council.
I say, I assume this being an official form, the signature at page 681 and 682 would be the signature of the investigator who takes the statement.
Yes.
I'm just testing.
Yes.
And that the only time I would see the complainant's signature is where the complainant signs his own statement. Would I be right? I might be wrong.
On page 2, that's 682.
Yes.
That signature at the bottom, that's where the complainant signs.
Is that for the complainant?
Yes.
And the one at
And the one in
681
the front,
is for the investigator?
it states their member's signature. So that'd be the person that's taking the affidavit.
Okay. But what we actually have, it would appear, right, at first blush, that Mr. Adams signed both
the wrong
page
place.
1, page 2, and his own statement. It
Yes.
would appear. And I'm willing to be persuaded that it's not his signature, but Chief Perumal's signature at page 1.
Am I hearing you correctly, Councillor, when you are saying on page 681,
Yes,
the signature on the bottom of the page is not Chief Perumal's signature, but Mr. Adams? Is that what you are saying?
yes, I'm saying if you say the signature at 682 is Mr. Adams' signature, I say it looks like the signature at 681, so it's the same signature. And I say,
Yeah.
when I take those two signatures and I compare with Mr. Adams' statement, it's the same signature above Mr. Adams' statement. So the sum total of my interpretation is where Chief Perumal was supposed to have signed on 681, Mr. Adams signed. At 682, where you say the complainant signs, Mr. Adams signed, and once again, Mr. Adams signed on his statement. The only time Chief Perumal signs is when he commissions that statement at page 684.
Commissioner, Chair, I cannot comment on that. And I think Chief Perumal will be best placed because what is there is the inference that Chief Perumal signed Mr. Adams' statement is that's what's coming across. And I think that will be unfair for me to comment on that because I'm not a handwriting expert and I cannot comment on, but he himself can comment, did you sign here or did not? If I'm understanding you
Mine
correctly.
was just a deduction, so
Yes.
I'll leave it there.
Yes.
And maybe I've seriously not maybe encroached into
Yeah.
the commissioner's lunch, and perhaps we are all hungry now. So if
Yes.
I ask if this might be an opportune moment, Chair.
Yes, let's adjourn and come back at 2:20.
Thank you, Chair. Thus, done and signed to at Pretoria on this, the 6th day of January 2025, by the deponent who acknowledged that she knows and understands the contents of this affidavit. This affidavit was sworn to before me, and the deponent's signature was placed hereon in my presence at Cape Town. There's a commission of oaths, and it's reflected as Dylan Perumal as the chief investigator. I take it that that's Mr. Perumal, you said, was the chief investigator in this matter.
That's correct.
My confusion, I guess, arises where it says it was signed at Pretoria and it says his signature was placed here on in my presence at Cape Town. Reading that, where was this statement taken and commissioned? Pretoria or Cape Town? It can't be both.
Commissioner, Chair, Commissioners, Council, I believe this is probably an administrative thing. So it's not Pretoria. From what I heard, this is Cape Town.
So it's taken in
It's
Cape
Cape
Town.
Town.
So reference
we
to
can rectify
Pretoria
that
there
to
is
Cape Town.
incorrect. Yes, it might be a function of using. Yes, Commissioner Baloi.
Yeah, I don't know that you can make that correction unless you're telling us you were present
No.
when this affidavit was deposed to.
Chair, Commissioner, I'm just making the inference, so it's just an inference I'm making.
Yeah.
And from what I know, that this was not Pretoria.
Well, you
But
can only...
Mr. Chief Investigator Perumal will be able to,
Yes.
yes, he will be the one.
He's the one that must explain what
Correct.
happened here.
Yeah, Chair.
So we're not making any corrections.
Are you suggesting that when he was physically in Cape Town, that is Mr. Perumal?
Yes, I believe Chief Investigator Perumal was physically in Cape Town.
But his base were in Pretoria?
In Pretoria, sir.
Does he carry around his Pretoria stamp when he travels? Because look at the stamp there, it says Pretoria.
The investigating,
Pretoria appears twice there.
that's
on the date stamp.
our office stamp, sir.
I'm saying, does he carry it around? Would he carry it to Cape Town?
So normally we carry our stamps with us, sir.
That's very unusual. But that doesn't make sense then, because you would stamp Cape Town when you are physically in Musina.
So when you,
Why would you do that?
the way I look at it from the affidavit before me, if you look at the address of the commissioner who's signing the oath, his office address is given as Pretoria, and that's our office stamp that's next to it. So it's not that it is you carrying a stamp to Pretoria to stamp an affidavit in Cape Town when it should be I'm not understood.
From what you are saying, that's exactly what you suggest happened here. Even though he's based in Pretoria, he was physically in Cape Town, and the affidavit was commissioned there.
Yes,
and he stamped it with a Pretoria stamp, date stamp, even though he's in Cape Town. That's exactly what you are suggesting.
No.
Which I don't understand.
Let me get clear on it so I can understand, Chair. Firstly, from what I know, but only Chief Investigator Perumal can expand and confirm on the statement. And this is from what I heard, that the statement was taken in Cape Town. But what I'm saying here on this affidavit, Chief Investigator Dylan Perumal commissioned this affidavit. The address, his address, our office is Pretoria. So underneath his details, it can be seen Investigating Director IDAC, Brooklyn, Pretoria. Our office stamp has Pretoria on it. We don't have an office in Cape Town. So his stamp, and therefore the stamp is Pretoria.
Did he have to, was it obligatory for him to stamp the document? Stamp in Pretoria when he's not in Pretoria? That simply does not make sense, because it's not giving the factual position. It's not stating the factual position. Even the indication of the office there. Let me just look for Chief Investigating Directorate against National. Or I guess that's fine, because it's relating more to his position.
Yes,
so
his position.
So yes, so there's no issue there.
Yes.
What's typed on there, basically
Yes.
explaining who he is. Maybe, I guess there's no issue there, but the issue relates to the date stamp.
Yes, sir.
And it sounds very strange to me that you carry your date stamps wherever you travel. What on earth for?
Commissioner, the only explanation I can afford, Commissioner, is in the way I see it, because we don't necessarily put a stamp on the affidavit.
Exactly. Exactly, because it's not even obligatory that you should have a date stamp on there. That affidavit would have been complete without a date stamp. By putting the date stamp on there, or affixing the date stamp on there, you are suggesting that this was commissioned in Pretoria.
Yes, Commissioner. That inference can be drawn.
But which, of course, would be problematic, because you also have Cape Town in manuscript written on there.
I think in the rare cases, Commissioner, that point that you made is taken, that if we are in Pretoria and we are obtaining statements in Pretoria, our state stamp is not a problem. But if we are taking affidavits in another province, we should keep that in mind. So I will take that advice from you, Commissioner, in good stead. Thank you.
Thank you.
And
So, so still on the, firstly accept this is Perumal's affidavit. It's not you that signed, but I want to preface what I'm going to say with this, that affidavits have been thrown out of court for non-compliance on these kind of issues. And one of the problems that there is here, and that Perumal would have to, Chief Investigator Perumal would have to explain, is in that very paragraph which the chair is discussing with you, in the second line, it refers to to the deponent as she knows and understands. And it's been a serious problem because it raises the question, was the deponent even in front of the Commissioner of Oaths? So that is one of the issues that are problematic about this affidavit, that I accept that he will have to come and explain and persuade that he took this affidavit in the presence of Mr. Adams, and it was Cape Town or Pretoria. But to go back to an earlier page at 681, where you say the station is Brooklyn, there's a date issue, there's a case number issue there, but when you look at the bottom of the document, it has a different date. The bottom of the document, it indicates it was signed on the 6th of January 2025. And then next to it, there's provision for member signature. It requires rank, name, and surname. None of that information is provided. And I have tried to see whether it could be Mr. Adams's signature, which it seems it shouldn't be because it requires member signature. And when I look at Perumal's signature, it looks completely different from, I'm no expert about that, but it looks completely different from the signature on page 681, which brings me to the question, do you go to Brooklyn Police Station and say, we need to open a docket, and that's where you get this preamble statement, or is this a form that is kept by IDAC in its office? And then when you get referrals such as Section 27, you then complete it and put in the name of the station. In time, you will put in the case number, but whoever puts in the name of the station on the 6th of January then completes it at the bottom. How does it work?
Commissioner, as far as I know, that the preambles of the statement is done when you are taking the affidavit itself.
This is a form that IDAC keeps with it.
Yeah, we have copies of we have copies of these.
Okay.
IDAC is in the process of doing, in terms of the dockets and annexures where it says SAPs. We are continuously deleting SAPs and putting IDAC on it. So you look, for example, exhibit bags. IDAC has now got its own exhibit bags. So we are an office in progress where we are getting and moving away from
So at the
SAPs.
bottom of that page where it says member signature and then rank, name, and surname, I would expect to see the name of whoever created
Yes.
this document
Yes.
and their rank.
Yes.
Okay. And the date at the bottom would be the date when what happens, because
Yes.
it's a different date from the June 2025 at the top, which comes with the cars. The bottom number, the bottom date, what is that date supposed to reflect? What does it speak to?
The 6th of January 2025.
Yes.
At the bottom.
Yes.
It talks to the day the affidavit was taken.
Okay.
It's the same date the affidavit was taken.
And you say the affidavit is taken without a cast number? Is that your evidence?
It still goes on the inquiry,
Okay.
Commissioner.
All right,
So
thank you.
what you see here, if you just remove the case number, this is still an inquiry.
Okay.
But because the docket is, at a later stage was registered, in the docket, you got to make sure everything from back to front is got the case number.
Thank you.
And I take your other concern, Commissioner, that a signature must be followed.